Kefalonia. This is Lefkada, and this is mainland Greece. Oh yeah! I have now arrived to Sami town on Kefalonia. Yo! Sami port village, Kefalonia, on Kefalonia. It's mountainous. View over Sami on Kefalonia. Sunny day ahead today, very nice. Another day of hiking, but this time on Kefalonia, and here is the starting point for this trail. So I'm here, so the plan is to walk up the steep mountain, come here, and then going to visit ancient Sami of Acropolis, and then further down there is a famous beach. So I'll start walking this trail and see where it will take me. First stop sign I've seen: Sami Acropolis Antisamos. This way. Let's go. Nice day today. This morning I started around a little bit after 10 a.m. local time, and it's 19 degrees. Be a little bit warmer later in the day, but today's sun is out. I'm on my way up through the mountains, up to the ancient site of Old Sami, and walking through lush vegetation. It's mostly fir, pine, and later on we came across the cypress tree and also some oaks. Right up in the mountain somewhere, but I'm following the trail and on my way. I have reached a small open landscape. I'm up in the middle of the mountains somewhere. A little bit further to hike, and I will reach that ancient town to see some ruins. The ruins of Old Sami. Beautiful view. Acropolis of ancient Sami. And a breathtaking view over Kefalonia. I have reached the viewpoint, top of the mountain, at the Acropolis of ancient Sami, and have a look at this. Nothing more to add really, it's stunning. This is Sami town, and I'm heading down there on that bay. There's a beach down there, famous beach on Kefalonia. Old wall. Once it was a fortified wall here on ancient Sami. This settlement dates back all the way back to Paleolithic era, and is mentioned in the Homer Iliads and the Troy. And then after that, the Hellenistic and the Roman Empire. But it's all now in ruins. Acropolis of ancient Sami. Dates back several thousand years old, with different eras. Good location for them back in the days. Entrance, I believe. Hiking downwards on this trail to see a beach. It was raining yesterday, so need to be cautious when walking downwards. It always takes more toll on your feet, ankle and knees, and especially in terrain like this. The trail is quite narrow, but they have made out marks, blue and white, and I can slightly see the coast now and hear the sea. Nearly there. This is barely not a trail. It's like walking through bushes. That's the sea and that's the beach. Made it down. Acropolis is behind down there somewhere, and I walked through the forest through here. It was quite slippery actually because it was raining yesterday and it was very narrow. Had to be cautious. And now I reach the beach. Antisamos beach. The water is crystal clear, and this beach got famous from the film Captain Corelli's Mandolin. Very nice beach. View from above Antisamos beach, where I spend a little bit of time, and a stunning view over the bay. I'm taking a different route back on my hike to see something different. That's the beauty of Greece. It looks to me, it looks like ruin walls or something, and you can only find this in Greece, and it's not even on any maps. Nice with some scenery. I think that's Ithaca Island. Boat incoming. Today's hike completed. I'm back in town, and when you look up at the mountains from down here, it feels very good that I've been up there and seen it. Village of Karavomilos, and even have its own lake. I'm on my way to see a lake, Melisani Cave Lake, a lake inside a cave. Canote, you can say that too. It's nice just to stroll around on the streets in a Greek village. Clear blue sky today. I'm outside the entrance to Melisani Cave Lake. Fair amount of people here, so I believe it's a very popular thing to see here on Kefalonia. En route down to Melisani Cave Lake. It's a popular thing to see here on Kefalonia. There's lots of people. I am now inside Melisani Cave Lake. and you get a boat tour for about 50 minutes to see around this cave. Beautiful cave, and they say is 39 meters to the top. Seems to be a popular thing to do here on Kefalonia. Many visit this cave. They're saying Dracula. Maybe birds, bats, whatever comes out from there.
All this small island is part from the roof, and the roof is 3 meters thick. A beautiful cave lake. I'm hiking up to a village called for Vachata, and you will find out later what the fuss is, why I wanna see it. That village have a bit of history, mostly tragic ones. Everywhere you go on travels, when you visit something, you always have the good and the bads. And today will be more footage to show the bad. And this is on a country road in between villages in Greece, and there's lots of dump and rubbish just left there, what no one is looking after. And I don't think the council really come here and clean it out. No, they definitely not. Broken fences, some marked off trails. Prickly pear cactus, one of the few I've seen on the Ionian Islands. There's plenty of them on the Aegean Islands, but this one is inside a fence, so it might been put up there by somebody. You see this one there will turn reddish when they are fully grown, and what's inside it you can eat. But if you do see one on your visit to Greece, do not touch them, because you can scratch, you can feel itchy for days. It's just pile up rubbish there. We can see a wheel, a chair, or whatever it is, and all these backlane countryside roads. It's not busy, it's not too many people traveling on these roads. On my way hiking up. So while I'm walking on this country road up to that village I'm going to see, I can talk a little bit of the bad things about Greece when you visit. And one of them are the ferries. Not on a small island, because they only have one port dock, and so you won't be able to miss that. But in larger ports, you don't know which side of the port the ferry will come in or depart from, and I had issue with that many times. Only the local seems to know, but you can't find that information anywhere on internet, so you just have to ask the locals. That's the best bet to be on the right side of the port. Example is when I was on Sami island last year, the ferry came in onto the one end of the port, and then when I left the island I thought it was the same side of the port, but it wasn't. It was on the complete other side, maybe half a mile away. But lucky I gave myself an hour, so I made it in time to catch that ferry. And it's not the first time it happened. But you learn the way, and technically if you know exactly which port is going from, you only need to be there 10 minutes before the boat departs. As the boats never leave early than the scheduled time. And but if you give yourself an hour every time, you'll be fine, even if it's the wrong side of the port. And as in the previous video, there's up from the tourist areas and the village streets, up in the mountain roads like this, there's a lot of trash you come by, and there's very few Greek islands have been exceptions. Lipsi was very clean throughout because they have a recycling program on that island, and I wish more Greek islands would look after it in the same way. Yeah, so I believe the council only sold out for the tourists because that's what the infrastructure is from the tourists, to bring in some money to the islands. But still, you shouldn't really dump it out on the countryside and then just leave it. But when I hike in areas like this, for me it has its charm. It's old school Greece. It's like you're going back several decades in time. And just right there is a car. The landscape is beautiful, so it's excellent for hiking in the Greek islands. Kefalonia to me, except obviously for the tourist villages and towns, it's very old school, and it feels I'm definitely stepping back in time. Not much have changed here for quite a long time. Probably never ever have changed really. And because the Greek Orthodox Church is strong, especially for the older people, so you will come across older women who still wearing the black typical Greek Orthodox dress. En route to see a village with a tragic end. I'm coming nearer the village, I think. It's a nice hike, nice and peaceful, and a bit of breeze. Some goats roaming around. Nice day today. I am now in Old Vachata, and the reason for the tragic end, it's because it's abandoned. This village is not ancient ruins. This got abandoned as late as 1953 because of the Kefalonia earthquake in 1953, and destructed the island of Kefalonia almost completely. Most of the settlements' houses got destroyed, and the land got raised by 60 centimeters. So most of these people, they escaped to US, UK, Australia, Canada, Sweden, etc. And some of them moved down to the coast. There's a little bit information here about this village. It dated back centuries ago, and during its village peak, population number to about 800 inhabitants, it says. It's interesting to see how they might have lived that time in the 50s. That must have been an important building, maybe the village townhouse or something. Maybe this was a bath, and perhaps an oven. It looks like somebody have nicked one door. Stairs up. Because the walls is made in stones, this will remain in ruins if left untouched for several hundred years into the future. In August every year there's a 3-day festival, Saristra festival, with over 3,000 people a day to enjoy music, dance, art, and honor the history and the previous settlement. When you hike in Greece, you need You need to be strong, Sami. Strong, son. Strong people.
There's a problem with that. Can you do it again?
They don't have a chandler in Greece, so I mix my own.
Yes, perfect.
A little bit chill time now after today's hike up to an old village. And I've been a little bit on the beach as well. And I see Ithaca across the sea from here. A quick stop at Argostoli, capital town of Kefalonia. Nice port promenade here in Argostoli. The town looks quite developed. Nice quick stroll here on the capital town of Argostoli on Kefalonia. It's a nice harbour front here. Taking the opportunity with a short stop I have here on Argostoli to look around in this town. So far it looks really nice. I think it's a reasonably large sized town, maybe 20,000 people population, tad less perhaps. Look much nicer than Lefkada town. Strolling around in Argostoli town on Kefalonia. Airport is not far from here, so I'm heading there very soon. Nice little market in there. There's the bridge where I asked the driver to stop me so I could have a quick stroll around in Argostoli. And one more view of this lovely waterfront here.